30. Only one item on the agenda, that is discussion and possible action regarding an order in docket number 2009 follows.
In order for the IDCC plant to meet the public convenience and necessity. Construction costs account for.
I voted no in the order because I feel like that this opens up Mississippi Power Company's ratepayers to an inordinate amount of risk. There are possibilities, as I say in the dissent, that this project could become too big to fail. Even the company's witness, Mr. Stephen Feder, former commissioner with the Michigan Public Service Commission, testified in the proceeding that he had been a part as a commissioner in Michigan of exactly that type of situation where a company had a ton of costs that were embedded, and the commission had no choice but to allow ratepayers to pay for those imprudent costs or otherwise jeopardize the financial stability of the company. I hope that's not the case, but I think given the facts we have today, protecting the public interest means when things have this much risk, we've got to be careful about them. That's the reason I voted against it. We don't want to see that too big to fail scenario come in. It could be a scenario where $2 billion into a $2.4 billion project, the company comes back and says we need another $800 million to make it work. If not, we've got to shut it down, and if we shut it down at $2 billion, it's going to cost the company and possibly, bring financial risk. And I just argue that this project may be perfect for Mississippi Power ratepayers in the future, but right now, with all the uncertainties we have, the most prudent thing to do would be to wait.
Quite frankly, hopefully we could have had an order that would have been maybe not quite so tight on Mississippi Power, but it just didn't work out that way at this time. But I'm still hopeful they can go forward with this, and we hope that they'll take a good, strong look at it. I think Kemper County is a really good project. I'm for the project, and I hope we can work together to move this project forward.
When you say the restrictions, you hope that some of them wouldn't have been so tight. Can you list specific ones that you wish could be a bit more lax, or talk about the stipulations?
Well, there was a number of, as you know, a number of conditions, four sets of conditions, but the main condition there was some of the risk mitigation stuff. We do have an obligation to protect the ratepayer. That's our number one job, protect the ratepayer there. But some of the uncertainties there, we never were able to answer the question of if not Kemper, then what else do you do? I mean, I feel like there's going to be some cost associated with whatever you do, and it was my position basically that that you didn't have to build quite as many restrictions on Kemper, on Mississippi Power and building Kemper, that you could protect the ratepayer without going quite so far, and would allow them a little more flexibility, such as maybe the cap not being quite as tight, and one or two other things there that we could have just maybe tweaked a little bit to make it go. And I think at some point in time to effectively do it, we're going to have to come back and visit the quit provision, which we do give them an opportunity to come back and petition on that. I think that's the way the majority of plants are being built these days. In the long run, it does have some upfront costs, but in the long run, there's a tremendous amount of savings that can be there. So, again, hopefully, I'm very much for the plant. Hopefully, we can get it done.
Back in the hearing back in October, we determined there was a future generation need for the state of Mississippi, and that's what we did today. We gave Mississippi Power Company the opportunity to build the Kemper project over in Kemper County with some stipulations, and I believe the stipulations are very important for the ratepayers today. One is the cost cap. That's holding Mississippi Power Company to their proposed numbers that we heard in the hearing. I think you happened to sit in on some of those days, or maybe all of them. But
yeah, it must have been.
we're holding them to a $2.4 billion cap. The pre-construction cost, which was a big ordeal, has not been approved. We're basically saying Mississippi Power Company finance this project, and when the ratepayers are able to flip the light switch on and use that power that's being generated at that facility, then that's when the ratepayers of Mississippi will start paying for it.
So no CWIP. Will the CWIP get revisited later?
There is an opportunity for CWIP to be revisited. I don't know. It's going to have to be a very hard case to convince me on the CWIP. The CWIP issue is economics of today. People are having trouble paying their bills as it is, and I just felt prudent as a regulator, as a prudent regulator, to not only make sure that the utility companies can build the generation facility that they need to build, but also to make sure that the ratepayers will be able to pay for it. But the driving force behind that decision today is strictly 100% the economy. The economy is a trickle-down issue, and if you're having people in Mississippi doing the work, that means they're spending tax dollars in Mississippi.